Chosen one. Have you ever looked at your hand and felt that there was something different about it? Something others might not see, but you sense deep inside? Imagine discovering that only 1 in 1 million people have a mark on their left hand, a mark that isn't just a birthmark, a scar or coincidence. This is the mark of the chosen one, and it doesn't just sit there quietly. It calls, it whispers, it waits for the moment when destiny decides to reveal itself. Some dismiss it as a myth, a superstition, or just an overactive imagination. But for those who carry it, life is never ordinary. From the first spark of awareness, you start noticing things others overlook, strange coincidences, sudden opportunities, and a sense that the world is quietly reshaping itself around you. And then comes the part that chills most people. The mark doesn't just attract attention, it attracts forces. Forces that want to see how far you can go, how strong you are, and sometimes whether you even survive the journey ahead. Legends speak of individuals who were born with this mark, their lives forever intertwined with extraordinary events. Some found incredible luck, uncanny insight, or unexplainable powers. Others faced danger, jealousy, and threats from the shadows, from people who understood the power the mark represented. Imagine knowing there's a part of you that could unlock mysteries, yet every glance at your hand reminds you of both the gift and the danger it carries. Now, you might be thinking, could this be me? Maybe you've noticed unusual patterns in your life, moments that felt too strange to be mere coincidence. Perhaps you've felt a pull towards something you can't define, a calling you can't ignore. If so, you're already on the edge of the path most people never even see, teetering between ordinary life and something extraordinary. This is where your story begins, because the truth about the chosen ones is not whispered in textbooks or taught in schools. It lives quietly in the mark, hidden until the right moment. And that moment could be now. If you feel a spark as you listen to these words, don't let it pass. Comment 333 below if you think you might have this mark. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, because this journey is only beginning, and you'll want to see every secret, every story, and every revelation unfold. Your hand might just hold the key to a destiny far beyond your imagination, and the time to discover it is now. Chosen one. Long before anyone understood what this strange mark meant, ancient people whispered about it in fear and wonder. They believed it didn't appear by chance. It showed up only when the universe selected someone for a path that ordinary. People could never walk. Old scrolls, forgotten books, and stories passed down through generations all describe the same thing: a small, unusual mark on the left hand, always on someone who was meant to rise, fight, or guide. The mark was never random. It was a sign. Some say the legend began thousands of years ago, in a time when the world was darker and people depended on signs from the sky. When a child was born with this mark, elders would step back and fall into silence. They knew what it meant. They believed the child was marked for a life that held both greatness and danger, a life watched by unseen forces, a life that could shift the future for others. These elders never spoke openly about the mark because they feared what would follow. Power attracts attention. Attention attracts enemies. There are stories from ancient Egypt where priests claimed they saw a bright glow around the hand of a chosen child. In old Asian villages, people believed the mark was a blessing from hidden guardians, and in forgotten tribes, the mark was feared. They believed only one child in 1,000 seasons would carry it, and wherever that child went, storms or miracles would follow. Some of these stories sound impossible, but the patterns are too similar to ignore. Different cultures, different lands. One message: only a rare soul carries the mark. As legends grew, so did the fear, because the mark wasn't just a symbol of power. It was a doorway. Once it appeared, strange things began to happen. People with the mark were known to escape dangers that should have destroyed them. They sensed things others couldn't. Some said they could feel when someone was lying. Others said they saw visions in dreams. And then there were those who vanished, leaving nothing behind but the stories of what they could have become. But here's the part the legends all agree on. The mark chooses a person who has something the world needs. not wealth, not beauty. Something deeper, strength of spirit. Courage hidden under years of pain. A quiet power that hasn't awakened yet. The mark is not just a symbol. It's a warning, a promise, and a calling. And if you're still watching right now, there is a reason. Something inside you is paying attention. Something inside you is wondering if these old legends are more than stories. If the mark on your left hand could mean something bigger than you ever imagined. Chosen one, look at your left hand for a moment. Not quickly, not casually. Look with the same attention you'd use if you were searching for a hidden message meant only for you. Because the mark of the chosen one isn't always loud or obvious. It hides in plain sight, waiting for the right moment for you to finally notice it. And once you see it, you won't be able to forget it. Most people expect the mark to look dramatic, like a carved symbol or a glowing shape. But the truth is quieter. The mark often appears as a faint line, a small shape, or a curve that doesn't match the natural pattern of the palm. It might look like a tiny triangle, a strange line that bends differently from the others, or a symbol that seems too perfect to be an accident. Some people say the mark looks like an eye. Others say it forms a small cross, a forked line, or a circle that is barely visible unless you tilt your hand toward the light. The closer you look, the more obvious it becomes. You might notice that it has always been there, but you never paid attention to it until now. Or maybe it appeared suddenly, like it was waiting for a specific moment in your life. For some, the mark grows darker during hard times, almost as if reacting to emotional or spiritual pressure. For others, it seems to glow slightly when they are about to make a life-changing decision. These signs may sound strange, but countless people have shared the same experiences. If you look closely and find something unusual on your palm, don't brush it off. Don't tell yourself it's nothing. The mark often reveals itself only when you're ready to see it. And once you acknowledge it, your awareness begins to shift. You'll start noticing things that didn't stand out before, small coincidences, sudden feelings, dreams that feel too real, or moments when it feels like someone is guiding you from the shadows. You might even sense a soft pull toward certain choices or paths. You may not understand why, but something will feel different. That's the first sign that the mark is active. It's not just a mark on your skin. It's a message, a signal, a reminder that your life carries a deeper purpose than you ever realized. Don't be surprised if your hand feels warm while you search. Don't be surprised if a memory or emotion rises out of nowhere. The mark connects to things inside you that you haven't explored yet. So now take a breath. Look again. Do you see something unique on your left hand? Something that stands out? Something that feels like it has meaning? Chosen one. People think power always arrives in loud ways. Lightning, fire, dramatic. Moments that shake the world. But the truth is quieter. Real power reveals itself slowly, gently, and only to the person who's meant to carry it. The mark on the left hand is one of those signs. And if you have it, you're not just different. You're tuned into something most people never feel. Something that follows you, guides you, and sometimes warns you long before trouble arrives. The first power connected to this mark is heightened intuition. Chosen ones often know things without knowing how. You might feel danger before it happens. You might sense someone's real intentions before they speak. You may walk into a room and instantly understand the energy there. While others ignore their instincts, you can hear yours clearly. It doesn't shout, it whispers. But its whispers are always right. Another hidden power is emotional sensitivity that goes beyond normal understanding. People with the mark often feel things deeply. You might have gone through pain that others cannot relate to. You might carry empathy so strong that it feels like you're absorbing the emotions of everyone around you. This isn't weakness. It's a sign that you're wired differently. You read the world in layers. You understand silence. You feel the truth behind actions. This depth is rare, and it's part of what sets you apart. Many chosen ones also experience unexplainable timing. You might notice that you show up at the right place at the right moment without planning it. You avoid disasters without knowing why. You meet people who change your path in strange, almost unbelievable ways. Some call it luck, others call it fate. But those with the mark know it isn't random. The universe moves things for you, even when you don't see it. Then there's the pull, the sense that your life is meant to go in a direction others don't understand. You might feel restless in ordinary situations. You might feel called towards something bigger, even if you can't name it yet. You may wake up some days feeling like you're waiting for a moment, a sign, or a shift that hasn't arrived. This is the mark working inside you, preparing you, shaping you. But with every gift comes a challenge. The same power that protects you also attracts attention, both good and bad. People may be drawn to you without knowing why. Some admire you, others envy you. A few might fear you. Your presence changes things, even when you don't try. And deep inside you know this. You've felt it since you were young. If you've ever wondered why you feel different, why you see things others don't, why your path never aligns with the crowd, now you know. The mark isn't just a symbol, it's a doorway, a link to abilities that most people could never handle. Every legend begins somewhere, and the stories of the chosen ones didn't appear out of thin air. They came from real people, living real lives, who discovered the mark on their left hand long before they understood what it meant. Their experiences weren't simple, they weren't peaceful. They were filled with moments that left them shaken, wondering why they were the ones who had to carry this strange sign. And yet, every story points to the same truth. The mark changes everything. One story speaks of a quiet young man who lived far from the noise of the world. He never believed in signs or destiny. But one night, after a painful argument with someone he trusted deeply, he noticed a small, sharp line on his left palm that hadn't been there before. At first he ignored it. Days later, he began seeing things in dreams, warnings, shapes, moments that later unfolded exactly the way he saw them. He saved a friend from a serious accident because of one dream. People called it coincidence. He knew it wasn't. The mark had awakened something inside him. Then there's the story of a woman who carried the mark since childhood. Hers looked like a faint circle, barely noticeable unless the light hit it just right. She always felt different, as if she was walking a path no one else understood. Throughout her life, people confided in her without knowing why. Strangers told her secrets. Friends leaned on her during their darkest moments. She had a way of sensing what others needed, even if they never spoke. But with this gift came exhaustion. She often felt drained after helping people, as if the mark demanded energy in exchange for insight. Still, she never ignored it. She said it felt like her hand was guiding her, not the other way around. Another story tells of someone who carried the mark but feared it. He felt watched. He felt followed. Whenever he tried to ignore the strange things happening around him, life grew heavier. He heard whispers in quiet places. He felt sudden chills in peaceful moments. People who tried to harm him faced consequences he never planned. He started to understand that the mark wasn't just protecting him. It was warning him, pushing him, testing him. He learned that denying the mark only made life harder. Accepting it gave him strength he didn't know he had. What's fascinating about these stories is how similar they are, even though the people never knew each other. Different countries, different struggles, same strange pull, same unusual events. Same sense of being guided, watched, or shaped into something stronger. You might relate to parts of their experiences. Maybe you've had dreams that felt too real. Maybe you've sensed danger before it happened. Maybe you've always felt like life pushed you through storms for a reason you couldn't explain. These are not accidents. These are patterns. The same patterns every chosen one eventually recognizes. If these stories feel familiar, you're not imagining it. There's a reason they resonate with you. Chosen one. If you've ever felt like your life moves differently from everyone else's, there's a reason. The mark on the left hand is the first clue, but it's not the only one. Chosen ones experience things that most people brush off, ignore, or explain away. But you can't ignore them. You feel them deeply. You notice patterns that others don't. And somewhere inside, you know these signs are trying to tell you something. The first sign is the feeling of not fitting in. Since childhood, you may have felt separated from the crowd, even when surrounded by people. You weren't trying to be different. It happened naturally. Something inside you always felt older, deeper, or wiser than your age. You could see through things others accepted blindly. You sensed motives, emotions, and truths that were invisible to everyone else. This isn't loneliness. It's alignment. The mark chooses people who see beyond the surface. Another powerful sign is the presence of repeated challenges. Life may have pushed you through storms that felt unfair, heavy, or impossible. You might have gone through betrayal, heartbreak, sudden loss, or long periods where you had to stand alone. These experiences weren't meant to break you. They were shaping you. Every chosen one goes through a season of fire. These trials unlock strength, sensitivity, and depth that can't be learned in easy times. If your life has felt harder than others, that's one of the clearest signs. You might also experience strange coincidences that happen too often to ignore. Unexpected encounters, perfect timing, doors opening or closing at moments that shift your path. You may think it's luck, but deep inside it feels guided. People without the mark don't feel this. They walk through life blindly. But the chosen ones sense something moving around them, like the universe is rearranging pieces quietly. Dreams are another sign. Your dreams may feel real, detailed, or filled with symbols you don't understand. Sometimes you dream of events before they happen. Other times you see faces or places you've never visited. These dreams aren't random. They're messages, clues, or warnings that come through when your mind is quiet enough to hear them. Another sign is emotional depth. You feel things strongly. You pick up the pain in a room without anyone speaking. You sense someone's intentions even when they smile. People might have told you you're too sensitive or too caring, but this sensitivity is part of your gift. It allows you to understand what others can't. It helps you guide, protect, and connect on a level that many never reach. And then there's the inner pull, the quiet voice that tells you you're meant for something more. You may not know what that more is yet, but the feeling never leaves. Every chosen one feels it. A calling, a direction, a purpose waiting to reveal itself. If even one of these signs feels familiar, you're already further on the path than you realize. Chosen one, every gift in this world carries a shadow, and the mark on the left hand is no different. People love to talk about destiny, power, intuition, and spiritual calling, but they rarely talk about the dangers that come with it. The truth is, being one of the chosen ones isn't easy. It comes with weight. It comes with responsibility. And it comes with risks that most people will never face in their lifetime. The first danger is emotional targeting. People with the mark often attract individuals who sense their strength but don't understand it. Some are drawn to your light because it comforts them. Others are drawn to it because they want to take from you. You may notice that people depend on you heavily, or drain your energy without giving anything back. Toxic relationships, jealous friendships, and people who suddenly turn cold for no reason. These things happen to chosen ones more often than you think. They're pulled toward your energy, even if their intentions aren't good. Another danger is unwanted attention from people who see something in you that you don't see yet. Some people feel intimidated by your presence. They pick fights. They spread rumors. They try to bring you down before you rise. This doesn't happen because you're weak. It happens because your spirit threatens their comfort. The mark has a way of revealing who truly supports you and who pretends to. You might lose people along the way, but every loss clears the path for something bigger. There's also the danger of spiritual heaviness. Chosen ones often feel watched or followed, especially during major turning points in life. Not by people, but by energy. You may feel a chill when nothing is happening. You may sense a presence when the room is empty. You may wake up at night feeling like something is shifting around you. This isn't imagination. The mark pulls you closer to hidden forces, both protective and challenging. And when you're close to your awakening, these sensations become stronger. Another danger is carrying responsibility you didn't ask for. You might be the one who solves problems, the one who comforts others, the one people rely on. It gets heavy. It gets lonely. At times you may feel overwhelmed or misunderstood. The mark chooses people who can carry the weight. But that doesn't make the weight lighter. It simply means you're strong enough to bear it. And then there's the danger of denying your path. Some chosen ones try to ignore their mark. They try to blend in, act normal, pretend their life isn't different. But ignoring the mark only makes life harder. The signs grow louder. The challenges grow sharper. The feeling of being lost becomes heavier. The truth is simple. The mark doesn't leave you alone until you accept what you are. Yet even with these dangers, there is something important to remember. Every challenge connected to the mark is also a guide. Every struggle strengthens you. Every loss shapes you. Every strange moment prepares you. You are being built, not broken. Chosen one. Once you recognize the mark, once you feel the signs, the pull, the shifts in your life, there's a moment when everything becomes clear. You can't ignore it anymore. The mark isn't just something you notice. It's something you're meant to respond to. And when you do, your whole path begins to change. The chosen ones aren't meant to sit quietly in the background. They're meant to rise, step by step, even when they don't feel ready. The first thing you must do is accept who you are. This sounds simple, but it's not. For years you may have tried to fit in, hide your depth, silence your intuition, or shrink yourself to make others comfortable. But the mark doesn't choose people who play small. It chooses people who can grow into strength, even if they start in weakness. Accepting your path means telling yourself the truth. You've avoided for a long time. Your life is not ordinary, and it never will be. The second thing is becoming aware. Start paying attention to patterns, dreams, emotions, and the timing of events. Notice who enters your life and who leaves. Notice which moments feel guided. Notice when something inside you says wait or go. Awareness sharpens your abilities like a blade. The more you notice, the more the mark reveals its direction. Next, protect your energy. Chosen ones often attract people who want comfort, healing, or strength, but not everyone gives those things back. Learn to step away from those who drain you. Learn to say no without guilt. Learn to trust the feeling in your stomach when something or someone doesn't feel right. You don't owe your energy to everyone. Your path requires focus, and distractions come disguised as friendships, relationships, or opportunities. Guard your spirit like something valuable, because it is. Another important step is listening to your inner voice. The mark strengthens intuition. You may feel a quiet pull towards certain decisions, places, or goals. You may get sudden ideas that feel like they came from nowhere. You may feel pushed toward growth, even when it scares you. Don't ignore these nudges. They aren't random. They're guidance. Every time you follow them, your path becomes clearer. You must also embrace the growth that challenges bring. Chosen ones don't become strong through easy seasons. They become strong through storms. When life gets heavy, when people betray you, when plans fall apart, those moments aren't punishments. They're shaping your spirit. Every difficult chapter pushes you closer to your purpose. Finally, stay connected. The mark never works alone. It connects you to something higher, something watching over you, something trying to lead you. Whether you call it God, the universe, destiny, or guidance, stay open to it. Speak your intentions. Ask for clarity. Trust that you're being led even when the path feels dark. This is the moment where your life starts to shift. Not because you force it, but because you're finally stepping into alignment. You're following the map written into your hand. Chosen one, this is the moment everything comes together. You've heard the legends. You've felt the signs. You've looked at your left hand and wondered why it feels different, why it seems to hold a meaning that goes beyond skin and lines. And now, deep inside, something is waking up. A quiet realization, a spark, a voice that says, "This is me. This is my path." The final awakening doesn't arrive with thunder or bright lights. It arrives in a whisper, the same way the mark first called to you. But once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. The awakening begins when you finally understand that nothing in your life has been random. The pain you survived, the people you lost, the inner battles no one else saw, the strange moments when you felt protected for no clear reason, the dreams that came true, the intuition that saved you more than once. All these moments were shaping you, preparing you, strengthening you. Most people go through life without noticing the signs around them. but you couldn't ignore them even if you tried. That's how you know you were never meant to be ordinary. When a chosen one awakens, the world around them shifts. You start seeing people differently. You start feeling energies more clearly. You start trusting your own instincts even when others doubt you. The things that once confused you start making sense. You no longer feel guilty for wanting peace. You no longer apologize for being sensitive, deep, or aware. You begin to reclaim the strength that's always been yours. But awakening also means stepping into responsibility. You're not chosen for power alone. You're chosen because your spirit can endure what others can't, because your heart carries a level of empathy that many don't understand, because you walk through darkness without losing the light inside you. You're chosen because your journey is meant to influence, guide, protect, or create something that leaves a mark on the world, just like the mark on your hand. From this moment on, pay attention to what pulls you. Pay attention to who enters your life. Pay attention to the opportunities that feel aligned and the warnings that feel heavy. You're being guided even now. You're being prepared for something that will unfold in time. You don't need to force it. You just need to stay aware and trust the inner voice that has never led you wrong. And if your left hand carries even the faintest sign, if your life reflects even one of the patterns described, then this message didn't reach you by accident. You were meant to hear it. You were meant to awaken. If this spoke to your spirit, drop 333 in the comments. It helps you connect with others like you. And make sure to subscribe, because your journey doesn't end here. This is only the beginning, and there are deeper truths waiting for you in the next message. Your path is open now. Step into it.